House has resumed. Call Government Orders of the Day, numbers 8 and 9.
Ngati Manuhiri Claim Settlement Bill, first reading. Ngati Whatua Orakei Claim Settlement Bill, first reading.
Point of order.
A point of order, Louise Hobson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I seek leave for the cognate bills for the first speaker from each party to speak for up to 15 minutes, with a warning bell at 10.
Leave is sought for that purpose. Is there anyone opposed to that course of action? Appears not. Leave is granted. Is some member seeking the call? Honourable Tariana Turia.
Mr Speaker, I move that the Ngati Whatua Orakei Claim Settlement Bill, have I got the right one? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. I move that the Ngati Whatua Orakei Claim Settlement Bill and the Ngati Manuhiri Claim Settlement Bill be read now for the first time. E ngā uri o tūperiri, e ngā kanohi maha o tau o ngā oho o te uri ngutu ngā, e Ngati Whatua o Orakei whānui nau mai ki roto o Paremata. Kia koutou ngā waka eke, e maki nui, rawa korotu, no raro i te maru o tamahunga, no ngā pari o te moana o toi, Ngati Manuhiri, hau mai, hau mai, hau mai rā. E aku rauranga tira mā, tēnā koutou. Mr Bill, at the appropriate time, I intend to move that the bills be considered by the Māori Affairs Committee. Firstly, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to the representatives of Ngati Whatua Orakei and Ngati Manuhiri who are here today for this highly significant occasion. Ngā mihi nui kia koutou. This is an important day for Ngati Manuhiri and Ngati Whatua Orakei, where we acknowledge their historical treaty grievances. It is a time to grieve and reflect, to acknowledge the harm done and the hurt endured, and to take a step forward to create a new future that is branded with optimism. The two bills being introduced here today are a monumental step towards the completion of a journey that has taken many years for both iwi. They are about mending a broken relationship and agreeing to a better future for all. One of the unique features of the Ngati Whatua Deed of Settlement is that its historical account begins with the two texts of Te Treaty o Waitangi, the Treaty of Waitangi. It was actually at the specific request of the late Sir Hugh Cartwaru and was part of the 2006 agreement in principle. It is a very important statement of the reverence with which Ngati Whatua has always accorded the treaty. The imprint of the late Sir Hugh Cartwaru is marked forever as we remember the substantial contribution he made towards guiding the nation towards a reasoned discussion on past injustices and hopes for the future. It used to be said of the treaty that while Māori never forgot, non-Māori never knew. The settlements we introduce today provide us all with a new opportunity to re-examine our colonial history and to move onwards with mutual respect and understanding. While it is not possible to provide full restitution to Ngati Manuhiri and Ngati Whatua Orakei for their losses, the settlement redress provided for in these bills seeks to recognise the seriousness of their grievances and build a positive foundation for future generations of their iwi. It is impossible to do justice to the journey that has been travelled by Ngati Manuhiri and Ngati Whatua Orakei in the limited time constraints of the debate. Whether through a historical, a cultural or a geographic lens, the extent of both settlements is immense. Ngati Manuhiri are based in the Mahurangi region on the east coast to the north of Auckland. Ngati Manuhiri were represented in negotiations by All Maha Kaitiakitanga Ora Trust and a part of the Te Kawero people through their descent from their ancestor Maki. They are also closely affiliated to Ngati Wai of Whangarei and are also represented on the Ngati Wai Trust Board, the iwi of Winston Peters, the Honourable Winston Peters. The Ngati Manuhiri rohe extend from the Wangaparaoa Peninsula in the south to Breamtail in the north and includes Te Hauturu o Toi, the Little Barrier Island off the east coast. The Ngati Manuhiri Claim Settlement Bill recognises their historical grievances and provides for their resolution. These grievances relate to the 1841 Crown purchase of the large Mahurangi and Omaha block without the knowledge or consent of Ngati Manuhiri, the punishment of their chief by pressuring him to cede his ancestral interests in his lands, the operation of the Native Land Court from 1865, the Crown's misuse of monopoly powers when purchasing Te Hauturu o Toi, Little Barrier Island, and the subsequent eviction of those Ngati Manuhiri who were resident there, and the Crown's failure to ensure that they retained sufficient land such that they were rendered virtually landless by 1900. This had a long-term social and economic consequence for Ngati Manuhiri. They lodged their first claim with the Waitangi Tribunal in 1989. Other claims were then lodged, particularly in regard to the Crown's acquisition at Te Hauturu o Toi, Little Barrier Island. In 2001, Ngati Manuhiri participated in the Waitangi Tribunal's kaipara inquiry over the Crown's purchase of the Mangawhai block. 8 years later, in 2009, they entered into negotiations with the Crown as part of the Crown Settlement Initiative in Tamaki Makaurau. Ngati Manuhiri and the Crown then signed a deed of settlement on the 21st of May 2011. I turn now to the settlement for Ngati Whatua Orakei, represented in negotiations by Ngati Whatua o Orakei Trust Board. They are part of the wider Ngati Whatua Confederation and are based at Tamaki Makaurau or Auckland. The marae of Orakei stands overlooking the Waitemata Harbour. They are also a member of Ngā Mana Whenua o Tamaki Makaurau, whose collective negotiations are nearing completion. Ngati Whatua Orakei are also represented with other groups on the Turunanga o Ngati Whatua. The primary area of interest, or rohe, of Ngati Whatua Orakei extends through the Tamaki Isthmus on the North Shore and into the upper Waitemata Harbour in West Auckland. Their bill recognises and addresses their historical grievances, which include the alienation of lands in central Auckland and the North Shore through Crown purchases without the provision of an adequate endowment of land for the future use of Ngati Whatua Orakei. The Crown's failure to protect pa and urupa sites from these transactions, including One Tree Hill, Maunga Kia. The Crown's failure to implement protective guarantees for Māori during the preemption waiver period of 1844 to 1845, which involved a significant amount of Ngati Whatua lands, and the Crown's taking of surplus lands from disallowed preemption waiver purchases. Ngati Whatua Orakei often describe themselves as a loyal iwi. After they signed the Treaty of Waitangi on the 20th of March 1840, their chiefs worked hard to build and strengthen their relationship with the Crown. They welcomed Governor Hobson to Tamaki Makaurau and made land available for the new capital of Auckland. And yet, despite the overwhelming expression of manaakitanga, Ngati Whatua Orakei were rendered virtually landless in the 2 decades that followed the signing of the treaty, and this, the Crown failed them. The road to settlement has been a long one. Few here today will ever forget the impact of the occupation of Takaparapau. Ngati Whatua led the nationally significant occupation and protest at Bastion Point for 506 days between 1977 and 1978. Their claim over the alienation of the 700-acre Orakei Block Reserve was one of the first of the historical claims to be heard by the Waitangi Tribunal. It was reported on in 1987, and the 1991 Orakei Act settled it. Then in 1993, Ngati Whatua Orakei reached an on-account settlement with the Crown regarding their claims in respect of surplus railway lands in the Auckland region. Further negotiations with the Crown took place between 2003-2006, when an agreement in principle was signed. Negotiations were then suspended in light of the Waitangi Tribunal's 2007 Tamaki Makaurau Settlement Process Report. As a result of that report and the impressive leadership of Ngati Whatua Orakei, a new approach was taken to negotiation in the region. Ngati Whatua Orakei signed a deed of settlement with the Crown on the 5th of November 2011. Both bills will give effect to the undertakings by the Crown in the Ngati Whatua Orakei and the Ngati Manuhiri deeds of settlement. Mr Speaker, I consider that the bill should therefore proceed without delay to the Māori Affairs Committee. I commend these bills to the House.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Honourable Shane Jones.
I te tuatahi